Madden football is the home of the Super Bowl, and this historic matchup is brought to you by EA Sports. It's the Philadelphia Eagles and the Detroit Lions. All that and more coming up next.
With the eyes of the world watching, it's time for the biggest event of the year as we're proud to welcome you to the Super Bowl. Up next, one team's name will join NFL immortality at the end of tonight's battle between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Detroit Lions. Thanks for joining us, everyone. With my partner, Brock Heward, I'm Kate Scott. And like so many matchups in the NFL, Brock, our focus goes right to the quarterbacks in this one. Both of these guys, players who've been around the league now for some time, they've definitely established themselves as veterans who know how to win football games.
Yeah, I think the word of the day, Kate, is definitely experience. Two guys who've been through the season several times over. They've seen a lot at this point in their career and been through quite a bit on the field. All that experience is stored up there right between the ears. And the one who is more skilled at leveraging that experience, more than likely is going to come away with the win.
Returning it from the 4. And the return sets them up just beyond their own 20. So here come the Eagles for their opening drive. They're led out by an incredible score through the air and on the ground. He was picked 53rd back in 2020. It's Jalen Hurts.
Kate, it's not often that we talk about quarterbacks having a nose for the end zone in football. It's usually reserved for the running backs. But Jalen Hurts has changed that conversation. He has so much power, so much strength. You get him into these short yardage situations or around the goal line, he finds a way to get in. But it's not just there. He's got a deep ball that's the envy of many. He's elevated his teammates around him. And he's got a skill set that I know a lot of quarterbacks would sure love to have.
He's got Devontae Smith, and he's brought down after a nice gain and a first down.
You know what I like about that, Kate? I like that they're not coming out slow. They're willing to go with some looks here that will yield big yardage down the field instead of just settling for dinking and dunking the ball.
Big play to begin the drive. That's up to the 37. They run it with Saquon Barkley. And he's got a modest gain up to the 41-yard line. It's a 4-yard pickup, and that's going to bring up 2nd and 6.
You know, this is an offense that will emphasize the ground game at different points of each and every contest. And as long as they can reliably get gains like this, it's not going to change anytime soon.
On 2nd down, here's Barkley. And he'll give him a handful on that run as we've reached the end of the first. So Super Bowl 60, a quarter of the way done. Couple of zeros on the board right now. We'll return to New Orleans right after this. Welcome back. The team is set, so let's get back to it. Second quarter of Super Bowl 59 from New Orleans. Completed over the middle. And he'll cross the 50 and start pushing onto the opposing side of the field. Timeout taken by the Eagles. That's going to be their first. They'll have 2 left to work with before halftime. Second and 6 coming up here. From the 48. He's on the move. He's running with it. And he drives this across midfield and down into enemy territory.
That's just the case where you're trying to make something when there really is nothing there. There just wasn't an opening for him to work with, and he was lucky to get what he could.
Eagles hustling everyone back to the line. Hurts with it on 3rd and short. Escapes the pocket. They'll make a big third on the ground. Philadelphia going to spend its 2nd timeout. And they still have 1 in their pocket for what's left of this half. points. They've got another first down at the 34. Hurts now from the gun. That pass complete to Goddard. And this is down to the 28 before the defense halts it. Second and 3 now. From the 28. Rolling left, buying some time. And he doesn't see a window he likes, so he just got rid of that one. Then brings up third down.
Look at how well the coverage held up on that play. Even as the QB escapes the pocket and buys extra time secondary, they got real sticky, stayed tight, and forced the throwaway.
No connection on the last play, and now it's third down. Operating from the gun, here's Hurts. They didn't break how they wanted it, and he throws this away.
Well, that's one you chalk up to the pressure earning that incompletion. They came in before he could find a target, hit him, altered that last second attempt to get rid of it.
So on fourth down, on comes the Eagles kicker, Jake Elliott, for the try. This will be a 45-yard look from the left hash. The kick by Hopkins is good. And that's going to get them on the scoreboard.
A dependable kicker, man, that is a coach's best friend. Saves him so much stress to have a guy he can really trust to go out and hit it from that distance consistently. Because from that far out, no kick is a guarantee.
Well, Brock Barton, a touchback. This kickoff should run out the half, so better make that return good as it's away. And he opts not to bring this one out, so they're going to enjoy some good starting field position from the 30. So the Lions take the field for their first drive. They're led out by someone who's fought through the doubters all through his career, and he just keeps putting up numbers. Jared Goff.
Well, even though it took over an entire quarter for him to finally get on the field, he does get to head out there with a chance to give his team an immediate lead. And you almost expected, Kate, for him to do that. With how much time he's had on the sideline to prepare, get his guys focused for their chance as it's finally arrived.
All right, this is going to be the play that takes us to halftime. Goff taken right to the air. And the connection not quite there yet on his opening throw of the game. So we have reached halftime of the Super Bowl. Now we'll head over to Orlando, Florida. Check in with Jonathan Coachman for the EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Kate, thanks very much. And what a season this has been, and it is nearing a conclusion. You guys enjoy the show out there. We'll get it back out to you, too, in just a moment. If you missed the first half, there's not much to get you caught up on. Just the lone field goal accounting for the entirety of the scoring. A 3-0 game to this point, as both defenses have been strong so far.
As always, a hat tip to Coach for his hard work during the break, as we're happy to welcome y'all back for the start of our third quarter. Well, we all enjoyed that halftime show, right, Brock? These guys were strategizing how to win that Lombardi. We're back underway in the Super Bowl. And he's going to make this to the 28th before going down. The Lions and running back David Montgomery getting back to work. And their defense sure has kept this game close. Now it's time for them to come through, get some points for their team in this low-scoring affair. Offense ready to begin this drive. 1st and 10. Shotgun snap here to Goff. Finds his man. It's Amon-Ra St. Brown. And that's good yardage there with a new set of downs to boot.
I love throwing a first down. And when you see a first down pass just like that, it's taking advantage of a matchup you plan for, and you go out and execute.
New slated downs to approach here from the 40. Off play action, Goff. Caught him deep behind the line. Oh, the ball is out! And it's a turnover. The defense has it. And they stop him before he gets much on the return.
You know, this just can't happen on first down. It really can't. I mean, ball security is a premium on every down, every distance. But on first down, it is especially a killer.
Now for the second time this game, we're going to look at the Philly offense. And their last drive did end in points. Not as many as they wanted, though. They had to settle for that field goal despite advancing the football pretty well. Drive starts out with a 1st and 10. They kick the running back in motion. On 1st down, Hurts. That's caught. It's Saquon Barkley. And they get this all the way down to the 16-yard line. Now the Lions calling a timeout. They're first. As that'll leave them with just 2 to use the rest of the way. He brings the offense up now for a 1st and 10. Barkley on the shotgun handoff. And he's short of the first after a mild gain. Detroit calls timeout. It's 2nd. And they'll likely be very protecting of the only one they've got remaining. Halfway to the marker. It's 2nd and 5. Here's another carry for Barkley. And they bring him down at the 7-yard line. The defense takes its 3rd and final timeout. And hopefully they don't come to regret using all 3 of theirs so early in the half. Third and a lone yard coming up. Hurts to throw. The throw is caught. It's a Philadelphia touchdown. Now in a close game, they needed somebody to make that type of play. Now it pushes their lead to a couple of scores and makes a comeback that much more difficult.
You know, Kate, their offense did its part and padded the lead. Now it's up to this defense to make this 2-score lead hold up and carry it across the finish line.
Now Jake Elliott on to attempt the extra point. The point after splits the uprights. And the Eagles make it a 10-point ball game. Elliott's all set for the kickoff. Greg Reynolds to return it. Now bottle him up as he gets the return to the 30. So we're winding down to the end of the 2024 season. That's the end of 3 in Super Bowl 59. It's Lions football. Some ground to make up if they want that title. drive will start out with a 1st and 10. Out of the shotgun, Goff. Got to him right as he threw it, and it falls to the ground.
You know, that was a play came right there where you need to buy your receivers just enough time to get open along their routes, and your quarterback enough time to find and hit him with the throw. Time? Well, that's not what he had. O-line couldn't hold up, and it forces the incompletion.
So after the incompletion, here comes the 2nd down call. From the gun, Goff. And they get to him way behind the line on this one and take him down. And that pushes him back. 3rd down coming up.
Kate, I've seen a one-step drop. I've seen a 3, a 5, a 7. Some of the boots and play actions get more depth, but a 20-step drop? That's not going to cut it. Except for this defense, it just adds a whole bunch of negative yards to that play.
Looking to throw it. Finds Laporta. And that tackle stops him after a solid gain.
Feet nice, Kate. Feet nice. They so often tell the story of every position on the field. When that quarterback's feet nice move to his secondary read, and so often it's a tight end, well, it's incumbent on that defense to fly to the ball. You want to make that tackle, force the 4th down? It took a great defensive effort to do it.
This is complete to Patrick. And this one's brought to a halt at about the 36-yard line. And the birthplace of America sure is going to be rocking again tonight. The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. And for all the talk we heard from every team at the start of the season, Brock, they're the ones, these guys right here, who fought all the way to this point and are now champions forever.
What a storybook season. You know, at times it even seemed like it's ripped right from a movie. The way the pieces fell into place along the way, all of it led to these final 4 quarters of football in this moment that they will never forget. I know not a one of them out there could have imagined a better final scene to the movie that has been their season. Super Bowl champions.